Welcome back, everybody, to Raiders Coast to Coast. We are host myself, 401 Raider Jeff, along with LV Raider 10 on the other end there, and we have a special guest with us tonight. We've got Mike from Raiders Against the World in his movement of blackouts. So, without further ado, Mike, how you doing, brother? How you been?
Hey, how's it going, Jeff? Still waiting for Boston, brother. It was so epic, man. Like I said, short week, but duty calls. We'll go back to Vegas, this weekend for our big home opener. But but Boston was phenomenal. Like I said, thanks again for everything that
No problem.
New England chapter, the TBH, brought to the forefront. From Blake's all the way to the tailgate. Even Scorpio Lounge. I'm glad you gotta join the Scorpio Lounge too and check it out.
Dude, that was awesome that night. That was a shit ton of people in there. We'll definitely get to that too, because that was an awesome place. But the three of us that are on the screen, we get to spend a lot of time together over this weekend in New England. And after doing shows with Nate for so long, and then speaking with Mike for so many different times, constantly on the phone, and to finally meet everybody in person, I didn't want it to end. I really didn't. I went so far as to say to the wife, it's like, I want to move out that way where I'm closer to everybody. It's just, I miss everybody. It was just so much fun. And it's like, damn, it was so much fun.
So, hey, a lot of work, but all that work paid off, and it's a lot of fun,
Yeah, it did. So we'll hit the chat up really quick, and then we'll get into tonight's show. So Cool Kev's in the house. What's up, Cool Kev?
What up, Cool Kev?
Bueno's with us. Big Papa, what's up? Alfredo's in the house. What's up, Alfredo? Dawn's in the chat. Hi, honey. Eric Bell's here. What's up, Eric?
What up, Eric?
My captain members there. That son of a bitch. Look at his profile picture. The lucky bastard. He got a picture.
Yeah.
I didn't even get that.
Oh, you didn't get a picture, Jeff? You didn't get a picture of Plunkett?
Nope, I got pulled away from the crowd. I was sitting on the bench talking to Miss Peggy for like about 20 minutes, and then by the time I was done talking to her, I was going to make my way over there because they were still there, but the bus was getting relieved, so I had to hop on the bus. I didn't want to get left behind and forgotten.
Oh man, he was so super dope, man. He was cool people, man. I had him cracking up. I was telling him, hey man, I don't give a shit about the NFL. Says you're a 2-time champion. You should be in the damn Hall of Fame. This is ridiculous.
Should have been in. I think he should have been in before Kurt Warner. I don't know what you guys think.
I mean, the numbers. I know his career wasn't always like his stats every season wasn't like the best of the best, but he's a winner. And when you win 2 championships, you should be in. I'm pretty sure Eli Manning is maybe comparable to, what Plunkett's been through, but But yeah, he was cool. He was cool people, man. Jim Plunkett was cool.
Yeah, he was. I wish I got a chance to talk to him. Chimo Zenswitz in here, man. What's up, man? It'll be a rough game. Hope you all win. Yeah. Eric Bell saying you were awesome. Yeah, you get to talk to you a little bit too out there.
Right on.
Paul, what's up? Let's see. Who else is here? Who else? Oh, James is here. All right, James. Easy.
Easy guy.
So, Mike, let me ask you this. I know you had this whole vision of, what Raw means to you, and obviously what the M.O.B. means to you. Do you feel as though with what you saw and have it happen this past week, and do you feel as though like that mission was accomplished week 1 for the first game of many for this season?
Absolutely. I mean, look at the show out, the show up to show out. Look at how many Raider Nation there was. I mean, it's my first time in New England. I've been to a lot of road games, but man, for the conditions and the whole week 1, and like everybody just making a point to be like, we're going to start our season off right. And I was super pleased, man, seeing people from everywhere, a lot of East Coast, a lot of West Coast, a lot of, in Texas, mid-city, Midwest and all that. And even I think there was a couple guy from Canada I ran into, and
Yeah.
a couple other people, man. But I mean, South Carolina, Maine, New York, I mean, Florida, just the list goes on and on. Obviously West, Cali was there for sure. Cali's always in the house, Oakland and Bakersfield and Tulare. And, there was a couple guys from, well, obviously, down where I'm from, LA area, Riverside. But it was awesome. I met some guys at the Scorpion Lounge from Corona, which is a city over from Riverside. Never met them. They're like, hey, man, we guys got going on. They didn't make it to Lakes, but definitely made it to Scorpion. Hey, man, that's awesome. Whatever we can make, that's what it's about. We're having all these different events, and some people were going to make it and some people weren't. Some people didn't go to the Al Davis Memorial. They missed out.
Yeah, they did.
It was beautiful. It was nice.
I got to say, I was at the memorial. I know we're going to talk about the memorial too, but we can bring it up now. That blew me away. I knew Mark Davis was going to be there. I knew Sandra was going to be there too. But when I saw Plunkett come walking up behind Mark Davis, I'm like, are you shitting me? Oh, no, he came walking out first. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, nobody was expecting that. I don't think anybody was. And then, did you notice who else was sitting up there on that front panel seat? Do you remember Jim Gray?
Oh, yeah, Jim Gray. I got a picture with him.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. So I saw him and I couldn't place the name, but I knew the face. And then it dawned on me later on who it was. I'm like, God damn. Well, I guess him and Al were pretty tight, but I guess he's closer to Mark's age. So him and Mark have been good friends for a long time too. But he also did stuff with the Raiders too, I thought. But that was cool to see him there too. It would have been nice to see other players, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, but it's kind of hard. I mean, they're preparing for the game. It was just cool seeing Mark, obviously the face now of the Raider Nation for many years since his dad passed, right? And then see, when he spoke and he got a little, he didn't tear up, but he got a little, emotional there, man. And it was cool to see that. That was his dad and how he laid out his grandparents, how they first started in Brockton, my grandparents, and my dad, and then my uncle, and that was kind of cool, And then the young gentleman that spoke about all Al Davis' accolades. I mean, it was great. He hit it right on the, nail on the head, man. And the list goes on and on. But, even the mayor, he broke it down, man. City of Champions, Rocky Marciano, Hagler, you know what I'm saying? And Al Davis. I mean, that's some champions there for sure.
I wish we had the chance to go and see the statue, the Marciano statue, to be honest with you, because he was praising that thing like it's like the tallest statue in the Western Hemisphere or something along that line. I was like, damn. But
even going to Al Davis's house, that big picture we took. That
was pretty cool. Hey, did you notice the lady on the side of the house bringing the trash out and was just kind of looking at us? You saw that?
I seen that, yeah.
I'm walking from the bus to the front of the house, and this lady comes out with the trash, and she's putting her stuff in the trash, and then she looks up, and she's like looking around, like, what the hell's all these people here for? I mean, there must have been 30 of us out in front of the house, right? And she's looking around, like, what the hell's going on? There's people everywhere. Flags all over the place.
I mean, did you guys notice? You guys did notice the fire hydrant, right?
Mm-hmm. No. It was silver and black.
Was it? I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, right in front of his house.
Didn't even notice it. That's pretty cool. I wish if I would have seen that, I would have taken a picture of it, to be honest with you. Because I mean,
for sure.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. I think I was just caught up in the whole moment of everything this weekend. That there's a lot of stuff I didn't see or catch until I see people's photos, and I'm like, how the hell did I miss that? Now I know why.
Well, and the cool thing, just seeing Raider Nation, like I said, meaning so many different new Raider fans, and I've been to a lot of games at Legion Stadium and a lot of the places, but these are just brand new people I never met. That Raider Nation is still alive, East Coast, West Coast, worldwide, and it was really cool to meet some cool people, man. I mean, they're just like, hey, man, you coming back next year? And that's the plan, everybody's ready. I know we're still we've already scratched this season, but that's the way you do when you plan events. You start like after the event's over, you're back to work, behind the scenes, and nobody sees that. And we talked many hours on the phone, many days. I think one time it was 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11 over here, and you're like 1 o'clock over there. And don't worry, Mike, just call me. No problem, man. Always receptive, always, the door is always open, man. And I really appreciate that. Like I said, working together was very successful, as everybody can see. And if you didn't go to Boston, you guys missed out. Raider Nation.
Yeah,
hey,
seriously.
Next So, be prepared, because we're going to bring it tenfold next year for sure.
Next year's interesting because not only do we come here next year again to New England, but we also come back to the East Coast. We got to play the Jets in New York.
I'm going.
See, that's about a 3-hour, roughly a 3-hour ride for me. So I would definitely pull that one off easily.
Hopefully they're not like back to back. Hopefully they like early and then late season.
Yeah.
Or not late, but like at least 6-7 weeks out from each other because it could be get pretty hectic.
I mean, in a way, if it wouldn't be a bad thing if like we played like Sunday in New England and like the Jets game was like say a Thursday night game. That wouldn't be that bad because then you come, you stay for it, but that gives you a lot less time to really do anything leading up to the game. Like now your pregame party is on a Wednesday night. That gives you 2 days of travel. It gives you Monday, Tuesday to figure out what you're going to do in between. So you're not going to have a lot of time to do a lot of other things if that's the case. So we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be interesting. But if they are back to back, that will kind of shit on things, I guess, if you look at it that way.
Well, they normally don't, right? LB, they normally don't have like back to back. They'll have one. Or actually, they do. They'll go like Florida and then up to New York, or they do. They've had that in the past. I've known that for sure.
Yeah, all they can do like they're doing this year. They were here for week 1 in New England, then they go back to Vegas for Monday, and then next week they're back on the East Coast for the Redskins game.
Yeah,
And then there's the Colts game is before the.
And then they go back home for the Bears, and then I think it's again like something.
Yeah, another 1 o'clock game with Colts or something.
You go to Titans, right? And then you got KC. Yeah. So it's just, for the most part, we got 2 Monday nighters. We haven't had Monday night in a minute, so
yeah,
pretty
exactly.
Pretty excited about this home opener, man. The momentum's there, and like I said, Boston just set it off right, man. 2025. This big event in Boston and everything that we put together for Raider Nation to have a epic and a great fucking time. I'm saying it was just awesome. I can't stop ramping and raving about it because we were there and we, and like I said, one of the highlights definitely was the Al Davis Memorial. That really wow, that was really. And again,
really that's something that came up 3 weeks before. Before this weekend, and like I said, it was Nate that found it and sent it to me, and I'm like, "What the hell is this?" I'm like, "Really?" But yeah, and then when I reached out to Mark Jones, I never would. I probably would have found out eventually, but by him getting it to me that quick, like as soon as he saw it, he sent it to me right away, and then I hopped on it the next day and confirmed everything. And I talked to Mark, and Mark's like, "Yeah, we got to do something." So, and then we just took it forward, and thank God, because Ben. I would have, if that would have happened and we didn't know about it, and all of a sudden we hear about it afterwards, and we were all here.
Yeah, that would have been upsetting.
I would have been pissed because that would have been a golden opportunity for us as the fans that were here that weekend to have gone to that and experienced that, because you're never going to get that again. That was a once in a lifetime deal, one time, and that's it.
That was phenomenal. Having all the kids there, the Pop Warner football team.
That was cool.
Rockton Raiders, the color was blue, but that's the color there.
Yeah.
But, it was still black and blue, and it was cool, the little emblem, and that was super cool, man. Then them going up to Mark, and Mark was signing their gloves and footballs, and them kids walking away like, "Oh man, I got Mark Davis' signature," and just embracing and the whole and everybody. And they didn't know Al Davis, and we got a chance, to see Al Davis on the sidelines, up at the booth, always wearing his white, looking sharp, all decked out, in his better days, But like I said, that was super cool, obviously.
Yeah. And then we rolled right into the tailgate on Sunday morning. Unfortunate thing is it was pouring out when we got there. But you know what?
Yeah.
Typical Raider fashion. We made the best of it. It didn't really faze anybody. A lot of people had ponchos on. I know you didn't, and I know I didn't. So I was just walking around with whatever shirt I had on, and I was soaked to the bone, But it
changed out.
Yeah, it was it was shitty ass weather. Well, I guess the other thing too is it's a dirt parking lot, and it turned into like a mud pit too in some places. It was miserable. It basically made me feel like if it was Oakland type of thing, like just like the worst of the worst. Like if it could have gone wrong, it went wrong, weather-wise. And they were putting up that one canopy, one of the Modelo ones, and I don't know what the hell they did, but when they were putting it up, they destroyed that thing. The cover's good, thank God, because that was my biggest thing. The frame, I can get another frame. I can't let that other, the canvas cover get busted. But man, they snapped that thing in at least 7 or 8 different places.
Yeah, it was bad.
And I was like, I just got it in the day before. It came in on 2 days. It came in on Friday. I was like, God, those things.
There's some that are really flimsy, man. I bought one Raider canopy, spent about $300 on it, and I used it one time a couple of years ago, beach event, and it got destroyed. Just a little wind and thing bent, and I'm like, yeah, screw this, man. It's like, geez, just got to go to a better spot, I guess, to get the canopies. But and it all depends too. You really need 4 guys to set it up, right? But then again, it's raining, so who knows?
There were 6 guys under that thing trying to put it up, but I think they were all fighting against each other was the problem. Everybody was trying to do their own thing.
There's 4 legs, and not 6 legs. There's 4 legs. So it's 4 guys.
Some were pushing up inside, and oh my God, it's like, good Lord, I can't help it. It was just ridiculous.
But it didn't stop us though, Jeff. We're there all muddy.
Oh hell no!
Nope. But you definitely had to watch your step because it was slippery. You had to watch your step when you were walking because a couple of times I was like, whoa, but didn't stop Raider Nation, man. Look, we showed up and man, it was cool, man. Like I said, all the way down, we had it sewed up, and then when the Patriot fans were walking by, we're like, ooh, a couple of guys are walking by and just walking down, I saw M.O.B. walking down to the stadium.
I saw your video when you were walking from the tailgate to the stadium, and the Patriots fans were they were like in a cage as we were walking in. I felt like we were on safari because they were on the other side of these chain link fences where they were tailgating, but we're walking through the pedestrian path to get to the game. And they're standing inside, I'm calling it cage. They're standing inside their cage or their pen, and they're yelling and screaming at us. They're shaking on the fence. And I saw that video of you with like about 4 or 5 of them lined up against the fence, shaking the fence and screaming at you. And
yeah.
The whole way in, they were taunting us. I don't know if they were doing it to you too, but they were doing it to the group I was walking with the whole way.
Most
and
definite.
We're gonna wait. We're gonna beaches. We're gonna beaches.
That's crazy because I was getting free beers on the walk down. I was getting like, hey, you guys want to come take a shot? No,
really?
But yes, that's what I was saying. It's so weird. Everybody was so friendly to me. It was weird. Everybody was so cool to me.
I must have walked by the wrong group then.
Well, but
it would have been funny. I would, not me. They were yelling at me.
I would have known. I would have took. There's 2 roads. There was the one like we're tailgating at. There's like a road that goes around, and you avoid it out of the tailgate. Well, if I'd have known that, I probably would have took that. It's actually quicker or a faster way to the stadium. But we walked all the way.
We walked all the way around.
That was a long ass walk. Like when you stood in the tailgate, when you stood in the parking lot of the tailgate and looked at the stadium, you were like, damn, that's a long walk. But then when you started walking it and you have to go up this way, over, back down, across the road, and then towards the game, it's like, I feel like I walked an extra half a mile just in zigzags because of the way they had it set up. I was like, man, I was beat.
And then another thing, the park after the game, they screw it up, man. I mean, they prevent people from leaving. Like, get the cars going, for people that do want to leave or whatever. But the Patriot fans already knew. They got there. All of them were just popping on the grill, just like we started doing. So you guys started doing, through the grill, started throwing more burgers on and food, and it took a while to clear out. And then they come and, oh, you guys, all right, it's time to go now. It's like, what the hell? Like, shit, you guys had us here for like 2 hours.
Yeah,
couldn't move.
Well, and that's just the way they do it. We're gonna try Omicron. We're gonna try and Blackout New York and New England next year. We're gonna try and do it in Philly too. I'm not going to make it to the DC game because that's too soon. That's a week from this weekend. I can't do that. And that's an 8 hour. Nice.
Yeah, that would have been nice to go maybe for a couple weeks. Colt game. If it was the Colt game, maybe that would have been cool to go to the Commander. I still call them the Redskins. versus
I do too.
But
I do too.
Commanders. What they're getting beat up right now, huh? Green Bay, you watching the game a little bit earlier?
Yeah, it's 17-3 right now. 2 minutes left in the third quarter.
Okay. But no, definite, man. Coast to coast, like Jeff showed, from coast to coast. We're gonna try to black everything out, guys. Raider Nation, we need your help. You to stand up. Any game you could possibly go to, pick one game. We're gonna try to do one game, at a time, and just try to do what we did in Boston this year. And there's still plenty of other road games. There's other places we could probably go, but
What's up, Anthony?
At the end of the day, that's what MOB is about. Movement of blackouts. We all got to get together, and I know it's been tough in Vegas. We had one winning season and made the playoffs, and then we got screwed by the refs over there at the Bengals, in Cincinnati. But other than that, I think this is our year is turning around, man. Just week one, and this is the big game, guys. This is a big freaking game. Week two, beating our rivals. Supposedly they're supposed to take the division. Punch them in the face. Like I said, all Raider Nation, whoever's watching this, now tell everybody we need to go to Allegiant Stadium. We got to block it out, man, for once. At least get it 80%, 80%. I mean, like I said, we all know it's a destination spot. We all know other teams are going to show up, and I understand that, but we still got to do our part. And especially week two, man, this is a big freaking game, man. And I'm confident. I like what I've seen on the field in New England, rainy and the conditions, and man, Gino looked good. He did.
He looked really good.
He did look good.
I will say your whole movement of blackouts. I mean, you really see it on the video for people that weren't there. But I will say, being inside the stadium, just being around you and listening to how you were getting the chant started and everything, and that's all I heard all game long was the Raiders chant everywhere. I don't know if you could hear it, Nate, where you were, because I was so close to the concourse behind me. That's all I could hear throughout the entire game. And I will say this, that stadium was packed with Raider fans. We came in force for this game, because even when we were walking through the parking lot, I saw huge groups of Raider fans tailgating that either didn't know about where we were or they just, went on their own anyway, which is fine. I don't care. I'm not expecting every Raider fan to be there, because we wouldn't have been able to handle it. There's no way. We wouldn't have had enough of anything. We had just the right amount of people, It was. But the crowd, when they were on defense, but when we were on defense, we were loud, trying to block out their offense. I mean, it was loud. I've never heard it like that before at a Raider game. I've been to New York, I've been to Buffalo, I've been to New England before, but this was different this year. And
it was super dope. I think it caused don't get me wrong, maybe 2 or 3 false starts on New England, right? Wasn't it 2 false starts because of the noise? And we're in their house, so that should tell you, that we were loud and we're proud. And man, I was sitting I was sitting 128, Jeff, and I think you're sitting 126.
I was 126, and Nate was 2 rows in front of me, 3 rows in front of me.
Yeah, so it's 128, and man, there was a section where it was pretty much dominant Patriot fans, but there's a few of us Raider fans there. Actually, Meredith's mom was sitting 4 rows up from me.
Oh, really?
For our Raiders. Yeah, and at the end when they started walking out, we're like, all right, you guys, see you later, And then she goes, hey, I want to take a picture with you. So I got a picture with her. I got to send it to her. Matter of fact, she gave us her number. Said, hey, I want that picture, and she goes, oh, Meredith's my son. Oh, so it was super dope. Cool. But yeah, that was really cool. But the people behind us, man, I'm talking some passionate freaking Patriot fan. Come on, with that accent. I love that accent, I love your accent, Jeff. And, what's going on? Get your head out of your ass, babe. And I'm thinking let's go Raiders.
That's probably one of the funnest parts I had this weekend when you guys were around, was listening to you West Coast guys trying to pronunciate the cities and towns, and then even some of the names of the streets. It was exactly what I thought it would be. It was fucking awesome. I mean, you guys were just butchering stuff, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah,
it was the best. That made my weekend, other than just seeing everybody. But it was that was great. What was your overall feeling on what you saw on the field with the team itself?
Well, I mean, week one. Doesn't matter if you're a veteran or rookie, whatever, there's going to be some butterflies, right? On the road, conditions, the whole 9 yards, new coach, new game plan, the whole 9 yards. we started up good. I mean, you seen we scored. We got on top of them, and I think I don't know who I was talking about this, but that's what we needed to do. We needed to take that crowd out right away, and we did with that nice Tucker touchdown right there. Sitting right there, boom, seeing it.
Yeah, it was right in front of all three of us.
Yep.
Exactly. So doing that definitely, helped our causes on the road. Getting that first score. A couple offside false start penalties on our end. People were giving JPJ a lot of crap. Guess what, man? It's week. I don't care. JPJ is our starter. He's our guard. He's our future. He's gonna be a Pro Bowler this year, like I called it. I know I thought he was gonna be our center, but he's our guard now. And that one penalty he had, it happens, man. Emotions are going. But second half, when we regrouped, changed the game plan. The Patriots didn't know we were coming, man. Chip Kelly mixed up the game plan really well. Was it 6 or 7 different receivers? It wasn't just Bowers. It was Myers. And then it was that one catch down the field kind of sealed the game. Thornton, you had Best with the long catch. You even had a couple
first down reception. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think the line definitely got it together. Offensive line got it together. I was really impressed with number 9. He's been getting some shit too. Tyree, he showed up, man. He showed up. And Kuntz, I know Kuntz is still, like I said, coming off that injury, man. It's going to take him a minute, but I'm glad that, even Booker, the guy we traded for, he stepped in, man. He was, doing his thing. Devin White, all these guys that we got in free agency, Spytek, that's what he does. He brings these people in, winners, people that know how to get it done. And I like what I see in the Paul Mayo with the interception, and of course, Mad Max, always taking care of business. He was double teamed most of the game, But at the end of the day, man, I liked what I seen, moving to week 2. Now you're at home, get to set in a little bit. The big dub, they know Raider Nation. They've seen Raider Nation there in Boston. But Raider Nation, we got to be in Allegiant Stadium, and they're going to see that, and it's going to be super dope. And I think, we're going to win. We're going to get the big dub again. I'm calling it, guys. We're going to get the big dub again. It's going to be a good game. I think closer game. I think it's going to go, I'm going to say 27, probably 21. I'm calling it, But, hey, Herbert. 27-21 Raiders.
You're close to it. What did I say, Nate, last night? 30 to, what did I go, 30-21? I know I had 30 for us because I got the over-under at 50.
Okay. And I think Chip Kelly is going to open it up a little bit more, I mean,
I hope
week
so.
by week by week, Genty looked phenomenal. I mean, I know we didn't he only got 60 rushing, but it was just that type of game. Gino had the hot hand, man. He couldn't miss. And even that one pick, that wasn't his fault, Bowers had it and popped out, but I'm just saying it was there. But at the end of the day, Gino stepped up, and I'm glad he's our quarterback for sure.
Even that touchdown, because we touched on this last night too. Even the touchdown by Ryan, I'm glad Genty got that first touchdown. It showed his. I mean, because he didn't quit on that play. He could have easily just gone down that as soon as he made that first little cut. Because when he ran in, he was running like this. He was literally like almost parallel with the ground.
And then just kind of,
yeah, like if you watch the replay of it, like he basically was like this far off the ground with his side. He almost wouldn't have made that, but that just shows that the kid's that good. He's talented. He really is.
He's a dog, man. Like you said, hey, you got a dog in me, and we're gonna ride him. We're gonna ride him. And I like how Chip Kelly utilize him, as a receiver. I know we've seen a couple plays. They put him as a receiver, right? And then he came back around, came in motion, and went back around the other end, and they opened up that side. So Chip Kelly was moving him around, and having that confusion, for the defense, it works in our favor. And you heard Babel, they got out coached.
Oh yeah,
he said it. So we got out coached, and I believe that's what Pete Carroll brings, that experience, that winning mentality. The second half adjustments, which we haven't seen in a long time in our team.
No.
When we had Josh McDummy, and then even that guy just sticking it to him too. We had Josh McDummy, this guru supposedly, and no, man, you know what? Just looking at it now, he's a good play caller, but that's all he is. He was never a head coach. That put us back 3-4 years behind. But guess what? We're back. Raider Nation 2025, and finally, I think Mark got it together, man. Get Carroll, and then Spytek, and then obviously Brady, man. Brady's, he's the main guy. He's the glue, So,
yep.
But I like what I seen on the field. Obviously, first half jitters, still scored, But it was dope. It was dope. It was a nice stadium. It was cool. It was a cool atmosphere for sure.
That's the first time I've been in that stadium. I've never been in it before.
Really?
Me too.
Yeah. Yeah. The last time I saw a Patriots game was in '94. That's the last time we beat the New England Patriots at home.
Rig Rock.
It was in '94, and that was the old Sullivan Stadium where it was set up like Green Bay is right now, just all benches. It was all solid long metal benches. There were no overhangs like there is now. It was all just that stadium sitting that just went out and up, but it was all metal benches and shit. Not like this. Nate, Fred wants to know if you're going to the game Monday.
Monday, no. I wish I was, but the next game I have on my schedule is November against the Cowboys.
Philadelphia. Come to Philly.
Don't forget, Nate. Don't forget, Lot W, Shorty, and Ron Nation. We're collabing and make that epic tailgate, man. It's gonna be super dope. We got a lot of good things going on. So don't forget to let everybody know.
Well, that's why I'm look at my name. I'm AKA Hollywood. Nothing block. These guys were calling me Hollywood the other day, so screw it. I'm gonna change my name on the show for now.
Yeah, even Hollywood showed up. He was cool. He's all dressed up.
Yeah,
that was cool. Mark Jones, the president of Blackout, super cool guy. Finally got to meet him and talk to him a little bit, and yeah, it was pretty dope. We had a really good time.
He was ecstatic over this weekend with the game and everything. Did you see the video of him after the game when he came up with the flag wrapped around him? He came walking up to Will. He was all excited. He won, and it justified the shitty ass weather too. You know what I mean? It's like at that point you didn't even give a fuck about the rain. It's like we just won this. It could have been raining piss on us for all I care at that point. I wouldn't give a shit. We won. We beat the Patriots, and I've told you guys this before. I haven't really said anything on shows. You have no idea how much this means to us Raider fans that live in New England to get this win like this and in this fashion. After all these years of dealing with these obnoxious Pats fans around here, it's been brutal for 20 years, ever since the Tuck rule, ever since that game until this past Sunday, where we finally got one up on them. Granted, we've beaten them in Vegas, but beating them here in front of their home crowd and to be outnumbered by, for us to kind of feel like we outnumbered them too. That's the other thing. No.
And I was asking a lot of people I know, Raider Nation, a lot of close friends. Hey, you guys watching from TV? How was it? How did it look? And they're like, what? They didn't really pan on the Raider fans. To me, they weren't really focusing. They're just focusing mainly on Patriots fans. I think a little hateration, of course. We're Raider Nation. We're going to get that hate. That's why it's Raiders against the world. But so they're saying that there wasn't, too many clips. But when I stepped out of it, I looked up and there was Raider Nation for sure. And then, of course, after the game, when they, like I said, they started walking out with about 7 minutes to go, fourth quarter, I think, right? Was it?
I told you that, didn't I? I said it to you guys before we went into the game. I said, if they're losing by the start of the fourth quarter and it doesn't look like they've got a legit shot, or even if they are still kind of in it, by midway through the fourth quarter, they'll be gone. And sure as shit, like the 6-7 minute hit, and people around me started getting up and walking out. So I pulled my phone out and did a YouTube shot. I'm like, yep, there they go. 7 minutes left in the game. They're leaving. That's what they did in Atlanta. They left at halftime in the Super Bowl. Half the fans were gone, and they couldn't get back in. And they got to miss probably the best game they've ever would have seen as a Patriots fan. It's like, you spent all that money. Why the hell are you leaving?
Yeah.
I stayed to the end. I don't care. I stayed to the end.
No matter what the score is.
Yeah.
I sat through a 44-7 loss in New York with the Giants, and I stayed there till the last second, clicked off. If anybody had the right to leave at halftime, that would have been me at that game because we were that bad. That was horrible. Yeah,
I got to go to the game in Oakland when Patriots winning the Super that Tuck rule, the Tuck game. The next year they came to Oakland, and I have a sign. I have it somewhere, and it says it was a fumble, and I should have brought it, but I dropped the ball. But next year I'll bring it. That it was a fumble, and like I said, we went, and that was so like, man, but it wasn't the Super Bowl, it wasn't the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
So it would have been nice to do that shit in the playoffs, but at the end of the day, we did go to the Super Bowl that year, and then obviously we all know what happened, But yeah, so I got the chance to go to Oakland when they were in Oakland, and see the Patriots come to town, and it was good. We kicked Tom Brady's ass, and he walked out battered and bruised. And this has been going on for years and years. But I'm glad he's on our team now. I'm glad he's part of the Raider organization now.
I'm glad he doesn't play anymore. I just don't miss him being on the field.
And then the story, you guys heard the story about, Mark Davis. He came out and he said he wanted Tom Brady. I think a lot of us wanted Tom Brady in 2020, right?
Right.
I mean, we were an 8-8 team. Who knows? I'm not saying we would have won a Super Bowl, but it would have been a better, definitely a better season for us. And Chucky shot it down, whatever. So since then, that's when they started talking. But no, I mean, that would have been dope to even see him play. And he wanted to come to Vegas. He really did. Obviously, he made the choice to go to Tampa Bay, and he got that ring. So, the rest is history.
So, but this question for both of you: what did you? We'll start with Nate this time. What was your overall take on like the defense? Because that was our one blaring weakness. Everybody thought was our secondary and our weakness. Do you think they stepped up enough this weekend to have confidence going into this week's game against the Chargers?
There's still obviously a work in progress. Like, it's only week 1, and there was still some obvious holes. Like I said yesterday, the intermediate throws that Drake May got to some of the receivers, I thought were too many, one too many. That needed to be fixed for sure. And then I feel like we did get good enough pressure after halftime when we kind of like made the adjustments and then really kind of figured out who we wanted to, go after the quarterback. Jamal Adams was in there rushing the passer, so that was cool to see. But I feel like overall the defense did play a really solid game, honestly. I'm still a little bit nervous about just the quality of opponent. Like, obviously the Patriots aren't the best team in the NFL, and the Chargers are coming off a really big win against the Kansas City Chiefs, who are obviously have been dominant as of recent. So, going in, both teams have the confidence that they're able to win the game. So it's just kind of we're hoping that it's going to be that same thing where, all right, Pete Carroll can outcoach Jim Harbaugh, which he has done throughout his career. So that's where I think it's really going to come down to.
What do you think, Mike?
I think our D-line stepped up. The unknown, the Bookers, the Tyree Wilsons, and these guys, like I said, last couple of seasons, Booker was stuck behind, their defensive line, the Eagles, which is phenomenal. And Tyree Wilson been getting a lot of shit, which he should, because, obviously he's a first-round pick. But seeing those two guys do what they did gives me confidence that, if we can dominate that defensive line, get some sacks on Herbert. He moves pretty good in the pocket. He can run and stuff. But the defensive line, definitely is a key. I think they stepped up. What was that corner, Blue? I think he got robbed on one of those calls.
Kelly.
He did. Yeah, Kelly. He did a great job. I think he was not shut down, but he did a pretty good job. And like Nate said, there was a couple wide open guys. Like, they need to get that shit together. I would like to see a couple more blitz packages, to be honest. Just get in Herbert's face. They did blitz a little bit. I think Devin White came in, a couple other guys came in, but use Jamal Adams as he does. He times the blitz really well. So I think they're gonna mix it up. You're gonna see a great arsenal this week 2. I mean, obviously, like they said, we played the Patriots. They weren't good last year. They're a decent team. Doesn't matter. It's still an NFL team. No excuses. But I think the defense, and then Paul Mao is pretty solid in chin. I like our back end, but if there's any question mark, it might be one of the corners on the other side. But other than that, I think even the linebackers, Devin White, he stepped up, man. He stepped up big. He plugged that hole. Anytime they try to go to that hole, boom, he was there. Side of it, or he made the tackle.
He had a phenomenal game.
Would he have 8 or 10 tackles, right?
8 tackles. So 8 tackles, I think 3 assists, I said last night, right?
8 solo tackles. I mean, that just telling you.
Yeah, 8 solo. That's pretty damn good. that's doing your job.
His nose. Exactly. So the defense, I think we're going to step up. But I think I'd like to see a couple more blitz packages coming from Graham. Carroll, hey, make those adjustments like you guys do. And obviously you're going to make adjustments for every team. And they need to get in Herbert's face because he can definitely thread the needle, But other than that, that's
this right here, what Jason said, Jay said, there's one more fact to the nation. We're going to be loud and nasty Monday night. If we've got the numbers that it looks like we're going to have for people, for fans in the stands. Now they're talking like 86% Raider fans in this game, in the stadium.
Yep.
I don't think we've seen the likes of that yet since we've been there, other than maybe the first game. No, because first season we were still COVID. So we couldn't even open that stadium the right way. That's the downside, that we couldn't even open the stadium the way we would have liked to have. If we're
2021, 2021 is the season that we had. We went to the playoffs. So after that COVID year, we're 8-8, and we made to the playoffs. That's when all that shit happened. Remember, Gruden was out. The Ruggs, Henry Ruggs, and with all our turmoil, we still made the playoffs, and that was an exciting year. 2021. I was at the last game of the season versus the Chargers, and that when they're like, oh, they're gonna tie it, or they're gonna tie it. Well, we fucking tie it.
Yeah, because we were willing to tie it, and we get the tiebreaker over them and whatever, but you know what? They tried to be cute, and then that's where we were like, you know what? Screw you. Time out. Go kick it.
So, that season there was definitely, a lot more Raider fans. But after that, it just been kind of like, after they got rid of Bisaccia, I thought they should have kept Bisaccia, but obviously that's history, and they already know who, and then the rest is history. But this is
86% this Monday night. That's a huge percentage. And Jay's right. I mean, if everybody's there and doing what they're supposed to be doing, they need to be extremely vocally loud when we're out there on defense,
Absolutely.
and to be quiet when we're out there on offense. Please, anybody that's going to the game when we're on offense and you're in the stands, don't be yelling and screaming. Keep it as quiet as possible. When we're on defense, hoot and holler like an idiot all you want.
But, and it's a dome too, so it's even louder.
Yeah, it is.
It's even louder. So, I've been in many games, and it gets loud when Raider shows up. It gets freaking loud, and he's right. That's our home field advantage. Hopefully, from here on out, the rest of our years in Vegas, you just got to show up to show up. But then again, that comes with winning, right? Winning builds up a winner, consistency, and I think having these guys in place is going to be consistent. I don't think Pete Carroll's going to coach for the rest of his life. But, hopefully, for the next 2-3 years, we have these 3 good, solid winning seasons. And Super Bowl, hey, at the end of the day, I'm not saying we're going to win Super Bowl this year or next year, but I think we have the team to do it. We're young. We're hungry. Gino, he's solid, man. He's solid. Him and Pete Carroll work well together. So, but why not? Why couldn't we? Why couldn't we get it? First things first, make the playoffs. And after the playoffs, anything could happen. Anybody can get hot, and you never know. It would be. We're gonna get one here soon. I'm calling it right now. We're gonna get one here soon. I already got my bed already in Vegas. I got my bed in Vegas already.
Well, how did you feel about seeing when you looked at the stat line for Gino? Were you expecting him to have that type of game, or were you thinking he'd be more like a middle tier type quarterback? Because I think he had a great game. But...
You know what, Jeff? I think. I wasn't expecting him to pass that much. I thought it was going to be more of a run game, to be honest, because of the weather. But that's what I'm talking about. Chip Kelly just got that feeling, man. Like, hey, you know what? He sees these mismatches. They stick with the pass. He was pretty efficient. There was a couple of balls that should have been caught, obviously due to the rain or do whatever. What was he, like 24 for 34, 362, something like that, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's pretty doggone decent,
Was it 360? Was it 362? 360? It was something like that. It was close. It was close to what you just said. But I mean, he broke a record, broke a Raider record, most yardage by most passing yards by a Raider QB in his first start. So
that's a good record.
Right, they realized the run wasn't working. The field conditions were not that great. I mean, you could see the guys slipping. There's that one play, and we were all 3 of us sitting in the right spot. What do you think would have happened if Genty didn't lose his footing on that run he was going? Yeah, right. Yep.
Because he came around and that angle he had open daylight, man, and he knew it. He's like, ugh, and we almost was called it like he's gonna have one big run, and like I said, he just lost his footing, man. But this week, he's gonna have a big game.
Oh, yeah. And no excuses this week for the field conditions at all. I mean, that field's going to be in pristine condition. It's no, because we talked about that run last night. Because it was like, so, you know, they had. I told him, I said, listen, I said, from where there was nobody. There was a safety, but he would have burned that guy. There was nobody between him and the end zone. He makes that cut and doesn't fall. He's gone. I don't remember what yard line we were on, but man, that would have been a hell of a run.
Yeah,
There
for
was
sure.
nobody that was going to catch him. Not
I
even
think we're on
close.
their 45. We're on their 45 or 40.
Yeah, so
going
so
that
50,
way,
60, 50 to 60 yard touchdown run. He was gone. It was daylight. That's all it was between him and the end zone. And it sucks.
100 yards.
I honestly thought he was gone, and then all of a sudden he slipped. I'm like, shit.
he did. He was like, he knew it. He's like, damn it, you know, that was my chance, you know. And we know with his speed and his quickness, his agility. I mean, he's just. I mean, you've seen him in college. You know, I know it's college, but you know, he reminds me so much of Barry Sanders. Low to the ground. You know, he took a couple big hits, but you know, it's still early. Obviously, Barry Sanders is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, running back of all time. Like I said, but at the end of the day, man, he has all the skills. He's going to be a better pass catcher out of the backfield. You know, solid. I like to see him get a little bit more, you know, rest. You know, a couple more Devin White, you know, in there. You know, not to run him out, get him burned out. But at the end of the day, he's gonna have a phenomenal year. You know, he's probably gonna get Offensive Player of the Year for rookie, I believe.
I hope so. He should. When it's all said and done, he should be definitely in the consideration. So Predator gave us a red as yell, so I got to play this for him.
Raiders.
I like that.
I know.
So what do you yourself with your organization, the Raiders Against the World, and just so everybody's aware, that's in the chat, pinned at the top of my chat, and it's also in the description down below on my channel, and in should be in Nate's too, is the Instagram for Mike's Instagram page for Raiders Against the World. Make sure you guys get over there and follow him on that, because he did a hell of a job doing the promotions and helping us out here on the East Coast. So make sure you guys show some love and get my man some follows and really pay attention to what he does, because he's got a great mission that he's on with this. So what do you got going on this weekend and leading up to the game?
Just we're gonna be heading out to. Oh, you talking to Nate?
No, talking to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're just gonna get ready to go. We're trying to head out Friday, and it ain't gonna happen. I have a couple of things, you know, that I have to take care of over here in Cali before I head to Vegas. So more likely it'll probably be Saturday afternoon. Get out there and get settled in a little bit. We're gonna go out to the Tap Ash right there, support Dub Raider. He's gonna have a cigar thing out there. Is the first annual, so go out there. I'm not sure exactly what time I'll be there. It's gonna be, I think, for a couple hours, and then obviously the fight. Right, we're gonna hang out and watch a fight somewhere. I think we're gonna be watching it at my cousin's house, and then Sunday there's a lot of events going on. So you know, if there's so many things going on, so people can just on social media. There's the home opener party with Crusaders and Black Hole. I think Leo's part of that. Leo's gonna be part of that action too, and then from there after that,
Street, right?
Yeah. You know, after that, just kind of hang out, and get ready for Monday. Get ready for Monday night, and just have probably tailgate a little bit here. I got invited out to a couple of tailgates, different lots. People I know from the Bay Area, they're coming down, and just go check everybody out, man. Go see what Raid Nation's about. Obviously take some pictures, take some photos, and and just be appreciative that when Raid Nation is going to show up this week, this is going to be something new for Vegas. Like, hey, if we can continue to win, continue to be like this, hey, our season could be, like no other season we had in a long time. So I believe, it's just going to be dope. I'm just so fired up. The M.O.B movement is coming along. People are jumping aboard. Raid Nation, the bottom line is we got to do our part and serve the people on the field. And I think, after week one, this week two is going to be huge. And I think Raid Nation is going to show up. No, I don't think. I know we're going to show up.
Yeah.
How about that? You know we're going to show up. You already said 83, 86%. And, and so just enjoy the festivities, enjoy Raider Nation, and meet new other people that I never met before. There's so much Raider Nation out there that, that don't know about a lot of the events, a lot of these things that happen. And I think I got asked a couple of times in Boston, hey, when's the next event on the, on the road game, or, what are you guys doing, this and that? I said, well, for now, this was huge, and we know next year we're coming back. Okay, cool. Now we can do it bigger and better next year, and then start, making a plan of doing other, away games, And I think next year the schedule's gonna be very favorable. We're gonna be in Arizona next year, and I think we're gonna be in San Fran next year. So those are pretty good close road games, to be able to do these blackouts, and it takes a lot of time and planning to do these East Coast trips. People have done it; they know. Well, you live there, Jeff. But I'm saying, like, for me and Nate, we're coming.
For you guys to come out. Oh yeah, definitely. Well,
a lot of planning.
When you're not from the area, and you're like, because the stuff that you had your hand in, like the Scorpion Bar. I mean, that's something that I wasn't even involved in. That's something that you set up, and I just helped promote. That like, I had people coming up to me Sunday night saying, "Thanks for doing this." I'm like, "This wasn't me." I said, "That's that guy over there." I said, "I'm not taking any credit for this." I said, "This is a great setup, and that's all him. Credit's due to that gentleman, not me." So like, I didn't take credit for anything that I didn't deserve. Let's put it that way. So like, any of the stuff that you guys had planned in Boston, like Will doing, the duck tours and the stuff that he did, people were thanking for me that. I'm like, I just promoted that stuff and put it on the itinerary. That's Raider Will that set that stuff up, and everybody raved about everything. The feedback on the Scorpion Bar was huge. Like the people reaching out to me saying how much they had fun on Sunday night, and like you and I talked, it's like, that's definitely a place that's in the plans for next year. Whether it's 1,000. Friday night, Saturday night, or the after party again, that location is definitely in the plans for sure, because that place was
gorgeous. Gorgeous place, really nice. They got the nice Boston up there, and spacious, and but no, for sure. Like I said, people are talking the same thing,
I've already got notes. I've already been brainstorming stuff in my head while I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do for the rest of this season for the chapter. I'm already thinking ahead for next year, because I want it to be easier for me, and then do more legwork for you and anybody else coming out from the West. So if you guys are coming out here, I'm going to make it easier for you guys too, because if I do the legwork, then it's just a matter of doing the promotions, so.
Also, what was pretty cool was the tall ship. The tall ship was pretty cool too.
Oh, that was really cool too.
That's a. Yep.
I'm hoping that the game is early enough in the season where we can still use, because that place is seasonal. So I'm hoping we can do that early enough in the season where we can use that place. Because other than that, we're gonna freeze our ass off.
Yeah, it was some crazy weather, definitely, but it didn't stop us from doing what we had planned out. It took us a little longer, traveling, going here and going there. But other than that, like I said, whoever was going to show up was going to show up to show out. From, like I said, from the Scorpion Lounge, it was a really good turnout. Thank you, Jeff, for supporting and coming out. Also, Nate, you guys coming out and checking it out. But like I said, the Ranch and Raven is real. It was a gorgeous place, and like I said, that was just throwing it out there, and we got a pretty good turnout. I'm glad we got that group picture. You got that group picture, right, Jeff?
Yeah, I did, and I put it up on Instagram, Facebook, and I counted. I came up to close to 60 people there on Sunday night.
What they said.
That's a lot. 60 people after the game, after the way everybody felt being, wet and gross and everything, and still showed up there. I mean, those are diehard Raider fans. That's what you call that. Those,
You don't see that. That's why it was just a thought. It was a thought of us, to say, hey, we need to do something after our victory party. And like I said, at Blake's, I'm like, hey, after we get that big dub, after we M.O.B, don't forget Scorpion Lounge, and hey, there we go, man. And I said, winning helps, and winning solves a lot of stuff. And hopefully, we continue this trend and continue to keep winning and being consistent, and we be involved in all the games, as many games we can go to. As Raider Nation, go, plan a trip, take a bunch of people with you, or however we can do it, guys. So at the end of the day, that's what it's about. M.O.B. is movement of Blackouts, man. We got to go. We got to do our part, and Boston week 1 definitely set the tone. Definitely set the tone for the rest of the season.
Dawn asked a question. You bringing shirts out there for you for the Vegas trip too? Like, are they saying M.O.B. Vegas like you did for the Boston one too?
No, we didn't. We're working on something a little different, but yeah,
Okay.
we're definitely going to be putting it on. We have a website also. We're still getting things lined up there. So yeah, definitely.
Is it up and running already, or?
Yes, it's up and running. It's called usagainsttheworld.vip. That's my website, and you can go check it out. You know, we have some of these raw hats on, the M.O.B. hats right now, and we're working on already. Like I said, we've been so busy. You know, we're gonna put these on. These are right here. We have these, and we putting on our website, and short sleeve, long sleeve, and the whole 9 yards. You know, then the M.O.B. ones for sure. You know, definitely got to make that mark, and we got to come out and do our part for sure. You know, we got to be fitted, man. We got to look good, Jeff. You know, you do it
Hell
with a
yeah,
nice
man.
vest. You have a nice vest there, man. I like your vest.
Thanks. I love it.
I don't see my patch in there.
I love this thing. I love this thing. I see the Facebook. I see the TikTok. Oh, you don't have it listed on Instagram.
It should be when you go to my Instagram. It should be. I think there's a link there, I believe, to click on it.
No, I only see the YouTube. I see the Facebook Raw, Facebook Mob, TikTok. Sorry, TikTok. No, because I want to put it up in the.
Yeah. So it's see if you can find, but it's usagainsttheworld.vip, and that's my website right there. And then on my website, we also have some of our events that we're going to be hosting, parties, and also the tailgate, and we're going to continue to add on the website what Raw Nation is doing, you know, as far as hosting events or co-hosting events. So, you know, people want to, you know, click on that you can also do that to check it out. Like I said, we've been so busy, we haven't added some stuff on the website yet, but we're gonna be doing that this weekend. We're working, you know, overtime for sure. And you know, at the end of the day, you know, all this prepping and planning, it's all worth it, man. You know, the goal is, you know, to just unite all chapters, all clubs, doesn't matter, you know, from everywhere. And, you know, we started out real big in Boston, and it's going to continue moving, you know, this weekend. And, you know, even when we go down to LA, you know, I believe we might even fucking black out their stadium. I mean, we always do, you know,
every year.
But imagine we really black it out. Like 90%. I mean, hey, you never know. You know, if we get on a nice little winning streak, and, you know, we're up there, definitely helps. But I mean, we're going to be there. Going to have a big tailgate in Pink Lot for the Charger game in LA. So we're going to be doing that. We're going to be promoting that as well. I haven't even put that on, but we're co-hosting with the IE Raider family. They're doing a big tailgate, and they're having a couple of birthday parties there. So we're going to jump in there with them, and a couple other clubs are going to jump in and just, you know, just keep it together, man. Keep it united how we did it, you know. And we can walk in.
This guy right here, Alpha Kasi, he's from Australia. He's actually coming out to LA for that Chargers Raiders game in LA at SoFi. So he'll be hanging with Leo. He'll be hanging with Nate, and, you know, all the other guys out there in Cali. So you'll get the you'll bump into him.
Oh,
probably
sure.
One of the greatest guys that I've dealt with on doing YouTube stuff, man. He's an awesome dude.
Awesome.
You want to talk about a guy that knows his era of Raiders, you know, because he's what, Nate, what years is he? Like 2000, like from now until like the late 90s, like players, he knows them by heart. Like he'll tell you exactly when they got drafted, who they were, how long they lasted with us. I mean, he's got one of those type of memories for that. So he's been watching them and learning them as he goes. So he's passionate about the team, just like you are, and just like a lot of us are. But when I say passionate, I mean he is super passionate about this team. Like I've seen him get so upset sometimes. Just don't talk about Zamir White in front of him. He hates him.
Pasaki, I can't wait to meet you, bro, in the LA game. So come on out. You see me, come out to me, bro. We could, you know, I have some stories to tell, brother. You know, Raider Nation, man. That's where I like going. And it was just cool being, like I said, meeting a lot of new people and just sitting there and, hey, who are you? Where are you from? And hey, and we just started shooting, talking about, hey, what do you think's happened in the game? And right away, the Raider talk started going, and, you know, and I remember this and I remember that. And, you know, got a lot of phone numbers. People were like, hey man, hit me up. Got so many messages when I got back home. I mean, still responding to messages, guys. I'm trying to get to everybody. Sometimes we miss some, but at the end of the day, to me, it's very important to always interact with Raider fans, anybody that's related with the Raiders, and give them that time, to get to know you and get to know what the Raider Nation is about if they're still new. Because there's, believe it or not, there was a lot of new people. Like, I've never done this before. I never came to a tailgate, that I met at the tailgate. Oh, we heard about it, Instagram, heard it, the New England Black Hole chapter. I seen you on Instagram. Thanks for doing this. And I was like, that's awesome. That's what it's about. There's so many out there that don't know. And I always preach, hey, if you don't know somewhere to go, find somewhere to go. Every city, they have some type of club or organization, or just, just friends hanging out with friends. And, it's not hard, man, especially, the beginning of the season. Usually that's when people like to show out, a lot more because, it's just pretty started. But hopefully this season, regardless of what happens, we just continue to keep the momentum going, get that blackouts,
Yeah, I mean, you think about what you accomplished coming across the country, and the enthusiasm, the intensity that you brought across the entire country. It's a testament to what you're trying to accomplish and what you did accomplish out here. I'm proud of what you were able to do out here. So far from your home base, and you had a following that came with you.
Yep.
So. That's unbelievable. I could see if you had this in California, people find I get that they're local, but to come across the country, I mean that's insane. Like, how many people actually, when you go, actually usually come with you that are like part of the whole Raw organization?
I mean, I couldn't even tell you, but there's so many numbers. But at the end of the day, Raw organization is just Raiders Against the World. So whoever wants to just be part of the movement, you're part of Raw. Like saying, like everybody, like Black Hole has your members. I don't have like how many members I have. It's just people reaching out, people knowing that, hey, this is where Raw Nation is going to be. They're going to come to the event, support every city. I have, I think, 5 lined up, 5 watch parties in different cities this year. And, my goal was to reach out to other, clubs and organizations or just other people and do something, because some cities don't have it. And I'm saying, hey, why not take it to Hermosa Beach? Why not take it to downtown Rialto? Why not take it to Riverside? Why not take it to LA? Why not, So, and I want to take it to Orange County. I think I'm working on one in Orange County here too. I got reached out by somebody out there for a venue. Hey, you want to come and do an event here? You guys are welcome to come. And so constantly working, man. It's never, living life is just part of Raider Nation, and that's what I be, silver and black. And this has been my vision for a long time, and it's awesome to seeing how everything's just coming around and everybody's just kind of gravitating to it and taking it to the next level. Because without us fans, it ain't gonna work, guys. And we have the players on the field, we have Mark Davis, but us fans, us diehard fans that take our passion and our love and our tears and everything, the whole shebang. Finally we're like, oh man, finally gonna start building a winner, and it's gonna be so great and so joyful to see this happening right before our eyes. 2025 is going to be a great year for us. How far? We'll see. We'll see how we stay healthy on the field, right? Because the players are going to bring that. Players are going to bring that intensity that Pete Carroll is going to bring his experience. But we got to stay healthy, and I believe we can make some noise. Nobody wants to play us. I'm telling you. This year, a lot of people are marking that calendar. Oh shit, Raiders are coming to town, and that's how it used to be in Oakland when we had our winning consistent seasons. Well, Raiders are coming to town, and we're in for a dogfight, and it's happening for our eyes, man. Just seeing it this week 1, regardless of who the opponent was, it was still awesome to see. And then all the players on the sideline just freaking, obviously the TV station ain't gonna show all that, but man, we seen it live. They're just pumped up and coming and thanking the fans, and people are pointing at that stadium. Like our nation was pretty much on that one section right there. We're at Jeff 128, and we all were there holding our flags and, hey man, screaming and yelling, and I still my voice is still shot out. From screaming all weekend long,
It's taken me a couple of days. It's taken me a couple of days, but I think I came down with a cold too, so that's not helping me.
I did.
I think everybody did. Seriously.
Because the conditions.
I watched Brian Fowler's video like 20 minutes before the game started, And he's like, I think I even came down with a cold, and I'm saying it to my computer screen as he's saying it. I said, I think we all did, Brian, because I think that's my problem now because I'm all congested now too. So it's like I said it that day. I said we're all gonna end up being sick in the next couple of days. Everybody's feet were wet. It was just gross. It just
it was crazy. It was great. Even at Blake's, Blake's was a little hot, man. And I
oh my god! And that's the other thing too. That fluctuation in temperature like that too. Oh, that was nasty Saturday night. It got so goddamn hot in there. Of all times for her AC to shit the bed.
I know. I'm like,
it wasn't working. It wasn't working before we even got back there from Brockton because my wife said Dawn was sitting there waiting because there were still people eating, so they couldn't start setting up right away. So her and my daughter was sitting off in the corner waiting. And she goes, it was so goddamn hot in there. She goes, and there was nobody in there. I'm like, oh, great. She goes, so the whole time they're sitting there, like, wait till everybody gets here. This place is going to get even hotter. And sure as shit, it was fucking hot in there. You see everybody just sweat pouring off of them. And then you go from that, you step outside, it's pouring rain out. Yeah, God. Hey, I did say there's two things I couldn't control this weekend: the outcome of the game and the weather. And luckily, the game was good. The weather sucked.
And then after that, all the other days were beautiful. The next day after the game, it was beautiful in Boston. Sun's out, and it was a beautiful day, And hey, it didn't matter. It was beautiful when we got that big dub. For me, I didn't give a shit about the weather. It would have been crazy. We were there in the snow, but that would have been a crazy, game. I mean, I've never been in a snow game, so hey, you never know. Philly, it may snow. And except it's always there's always that option. You never know.
Sunday after the game, driving up to Boston, the sun was coming out behind me and it was blinding me on my side mirrors. I'm like, what the hell? Now the sun's gonna come out.
I know, right? But
it's been sunny and beautiful here since Sunday night. So it's been great. It's been cold, but it's been great. What was I gonna say?
Gonna get that dub. Yep, we're gonna get that dub Monday.
Oh hell yeah!
Let's go, Raider Nation. Let's go. Let's go black it out. Still a lot of tickets.
Shit, I was gonna say something. I can't think what the hell it was. I was gonna say now. I'm drawing a massive blank right now.
But hey, Nate, what do you think, Nate? What do you think the turnout? What do you think about everything that happened this weekend?
Oh, it was great. I was honestly surprised to see, so when I figured that there was going to be a lot of Raider fans, our group or whatever, it was going to be tough to get everybody, from the West Coast. I didn't know how many Raider fans were out in the East Coast or whatever. So at the tailgate, obviously, I was like, oh, cool. This is a good turnout. There's a lot of Raider fans. Going into the stadium and seeing how many, Raider fans were there, that was insane. And then just like Jeff was saying, the Raiders chants throughout the whole entire stadium, the whole time, from entrance to exit. I heard Raider chants the whole time. It was awesome. So that was really, really cool. But all of the events that leading up to game day, it was awesome to see everybody, the people that I've never met or have never gotten the opportunity to talk to, Mark Jones, Hollywood Raider, Brian Fowler, to be able to just rub elbows with those kind of people, that was awesome. And just kind of connect with a bunch of different Raider fans that you wouldn't normally connect with or see otherwise. That's really awesome. It was a really good time.
No, for sure. Like I said, you're there from the beginning to the end, and you went to, I think, all the events, right?
Yep.
And
yeah.
it was
he
a
was
fun
the first one here. He was here before anybody else.
Smart guy.
Yeah.
Smart guy.
He came in on Wednesday. He left Tuesday.
Oh, you left Tuesday. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you end up going to Fenway Park?
Yeah, I did. I went to Fenway on Monday. Yeah, it was awesome. Fenway was awesome.
Did you hit that Cheers bar?
No, I didn't. Yeah. We were just up there for a little bit in Boston. So we did Fenway and Quincy Market.
Don't remind him there, Pete.
Yeah.
Pete had to remind me. Or remind me. They had a Raiderific time except when he missed the bus. He didn't miss the bus. I that's my fault. I still feel horrible about that. I'm never gonna let that down. I'm never gonna live that one down.
Hey, get in Hollywood too.
Not as much as Jeff, but yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
My
But
makeup
no,
artist isn't here today, so
and then Jeff, I didn't tell you, we actually took the subway too. I actually got to get on the subway.
oh, you got on the T?
Yeah, from the tall ship. A couple of my
Okay.
buddies, my buddy Mike Coronado. Thank you, Mike, for coming out also, and his wife and his family joining us. Also, yeah, they're like, hey man, they took the trains all the way. You know, they're doing a lot of train subway action. So, hey man, we follow them, and yeah, we got the subway. It was pretty cool. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be, but yeah. So from the tall ship, it dropped us off right by our hotel, right there in downtown Boston. Man, it was super
Oh
cool.
no shit.
And,
Well, that worked
yeah.
then.
So I think next year we'll probably be using that a little bit more and have more time to look into it a little more. And because if you miss a train, you can get lost. You can get lost. But and I know a lot of people did tell me too. They did take the train from Boston to Providence, and they had a good time doing that. They said coming back though was a long ride, But they're like, hey man, we're here at the Scorpion Bar. It didn't matter, we had to be here and to celebrate that big W. I said, yep. Awesome. Thank you for supporting and coming out, because this is all for Raider Nation. This is all we do, but
I know what bougie means, Omicron.
You said it wrong too.
Who?
You bougie?
That's what it is. You're too bougie. What do you think?
Bougie.
bad and bougie.
No.
Bougie means like
you guys invented that word. That word's been around way before half of you kids have even been born. So I don't want to hear it.
Still said it wrong.
No, I said it right. You guys just put your little twinge to it now.
Bougie.
So I don't want to hear it.
Jeff Bougie.
I mean, yeah, overall, it was a great weekend. I mean, it wouldn't have been as successful if I didn't have the help of Mike promoting what he did, Will promoting. I mean, between the two of you, I mean, the amount of information that you guys were putting out there, like a perfect example, I'll tell you right now, Friday night, everybody was clamoring, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And then you and I were on the boat. We finally made the decision. We're just going to come right back here tonight. And
Yep.
We left Boston. We went and picked up the food. The wife's driving. I'm sitting in the front seat. Nate can attest because he was with us. I'm sitting in the front seat and I'm doing up the flyer as we're driving. Sent the flyer out to you. Sent it to Will, and then bang, you guys did what you needed to do. I did what I did. And look at the turnout we had Friday night. And that was on what, an hour and a half, 2 hour notice. We turned it around like that fast. That's how fast news traveled with the help of you and Will posting it and then just spreading it. That was insane. 20 years ago, I don't know how the hell we would have put something together. You couldn't have put something together that fast. There's no way.
No.
Absolutely
No
not.
way.
It would have been all this. You would have been calling everybody, at their house, not on their cell phone, but at their house on the phone or beeping their pager.
Yeah, and that's it. It's a great tool. Social media is a great tool to get it out there ASAP. Everybody has a phone. Everybody, has their alert time. Boom. Oh, what's going on? What's going on? A lot of people asking. I'm glad we made the decision when we did. When we got to check it out early in the day, and we're like, hey man, perfect spot. At first I thought we're gonna be on the ship, but when I got there, you guys got there earlier than me. That shit was packed.
When I walked in, like Nate and Dawn and Calista, they walked in and they were doing what they were doing. I went right over to the front gate, and I just started doing my schmoozing with the head guy over there, and I started talking to him. I'm like, what can we do? He goes, what do you mean? I said, I'm going to probably have about 60, 70 people come rolling in here soon. I said, what do you guys offer for like a large group? Do you guys do buckets? Then I went and talked to the bartender at that first one as soon as you walk in. I said, what do you guys offer? Like, I got a big group of people coming in here. I said, what can we do to make this a good experience? I said, they're all Raider fans. They're from all over the country. They're here for the Patriots game. I'm telling them all to come here. What do you guys offer? And he's telling me all this and that. He goes, I'll tell you right now. He goes, go and talk to the guy with the blue shirt over there and talk to him about getting one of those booths way down in the back. He goes, the drinks are cheaper when you order from there. You get a waitress. We can do the buckets. You can't get the buckets anywhere else, but you can get them. We can't do mixed drinks down here, but if you're ordering from a waitress, you can get the mixed drinks over there. I said, sold. Because if you wanted a mixed drink and you were just on the floor down on the bottom playing like cornhole or doing the Jenga or whatever, you got to go up on the boat. That's the only way you could get a mixed drink. You couldn't go to any other bar on that ground level.
Yeah.
So I said, well, I know the crowd that's coming. They're going to want beers and they're going to want mixed drinks and they're going to want shots. So I went and talked to the guy. He told me, he goes, it's $250 is the minimum. He goes, so you have to, and he explained it to me. You put $250 down and you have to complete, you have to get to a bar tab of $250. After that, you're good. If you don't hit the $250, you have to pay the balance of, like, say we only do $200 in booze. I'd have to pay the $50.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. So we go over. I said, well, I want one, possibly two in the future, but right now we'll start with one. One holds like 15. So I gave the guy my card. I said, all right, put the $250 hold on my card. I said, and then we'll talk. 20 minutes later, we had already hit the $250 before you even got there. We had already hit the $250 with the fee that was there at the start, because I knew we were gonna, based on the prices of everything. And then when you came in, there was even more people, and you did the same thing for the next one. And I think we filtered into a third one without them even saying anything, because nobody said anything to me about, hey, you owe us another $250 for that one. We just kind of took it over.
Like we do.
I think we were too afraid to come over and say anything.
But it was cool. Those pictures on that boat or that venue, the behind they're freaking
the city skyline and back and everything. It was a beautiful night too. The wind was perfect. It was a perfect temperature out there. That was the best night by far. That was the best, being outside on the harbor like that, overlooking the city. It was just, you know what it felt like to me? It felt like when I went to Cancun and you sat in the main lobby gathering place at the main bar, and the water, the waves, the wind's coming in off the ocean, and that's what it felt like. That was when I sat down on that couch, that's how I felt like. It felt exactly like that, But man, that was awesome.
The Sea Raider Nation just keep coming, coming, and a lot of people, I think a lot of people were thinking we're up at the boat, and then I think I went up there and I just told the people in the front, any Raider Nation is telling we're back there. Oh, okay, all right, fine, because I think some of my friends call me, hey man, we're on the boat, where you're at? Oh, we're down here. Oh shoot, okay, so then we're coming down,
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it worked out great. That's another nice location, possible for next year, and it wasn't too far,
No, it wasn't. It really wasn't. Velvet, what didn't, I don't. Like I said, I'm already running through so many things that we can do. I mean, there's 2 locations right there, and I'm telling you, I think comes next year, we're doing everything in Boston. We're not even gonna look at Providence, because majority of people come into Boston anyway, come into Logan, So I think we're just gonna plan everything from Boston and then the surrounding area for other functions that we want to do. So,
and there's still more legwork we can do too, to find another spot and stuff like that. So, and that'll definitely be in the plans. Trying to get everything laid out a lot sooner. And now that I experienced what I experienced in Boston, I know a little more how things are over there and how everything works out as far as getting around, and it'll make it a lot easier. And then knowing how far from Boston to the game, also Foxborough, it wasn't bad. I think it was a 35-minute drive, no traffic, right?
Yeah,
but
about
game
that.
Game day, of course you're gonna have a little traffic if you start leaving a little late. I got to tailgate a little late, but at the end of the day, even the Uber ride, it wasn't bad. We took the Uber over there, and like I said, at the end of the day, it wasn't too bad going back and forth. Maybe after the Providence a little bit. That's when it started raining. Actually, that night, remember? In Providence, it was coming down. When we were driving back to Boston, it was coming down pretty good. I'm thinking just rain as much as you can, so we don't get the rain tomorrow. And guess what? It didn't matter. It still rained. So right away, everybody's like, "We gotta get a poncho," and and I went to a couple of stores, and they were gone.
Oh, really?
Gone. Yeah. So we ended up getting ours, I believe. That's the gentleman's name. He shot me a couple, and then we ended up getting a couple walking in to the stadium. There was that one guy in the corner. I never seen him. He's like, ponchos. He had the pink and he had the clear. He was making a killing, I'll tell you that.
On a day like that, yeah. I'll tell you what, one of the things I was already thinking about for next year is if it happens to be in the winter and people are still going to come out here for the game, there's a place in Massachusetts called Mount Wachusett. It's a it's a skiing location, but they also have another location nearby where you can go out and go on those big inner tubes and go sledding like that. You could do that all day long. Something like that would be fun with a massive crew. You know, something that you don't get to do out in Cali, you know, or somebody that lives like Anthony lives in freaking New Mexico. They ain't getting snow down there. You know, you get to experience something that you normally wouldn't get to experience by coming here. So that shit like that could be fun too. You know?
Well, we're in Cali. We're spoiled, Jeff. You know, we can go to the beach.
There you go to snow.
No, I know you guys do that. Yeah, but some people that live in certain parts of Cali, you got to travel quite a ways for to get to that. Like if you're down in San Diego area, it takes you a while to get to the mountains.
You're right. But I mean, we can still go to the beach and go to the mountains the same day. Where I kind of live in Riverside, or even LA.
We can do that.
We can do that. Yeah, see what I'm saying? So that's kind of cool. But hey, we won't know until obviously the schedule release for next year. But I mean, at least we got a game plan.
Yep.
That makes it a lot easier. And I want that chicken parm. I didn't try that because you're like, don't eat chicken parm. And I went to an Italian restaurant, me and my wife and a couple of our friends, and she's gonna order chicken parm. I'm like, don't order the chicken parm. Jeff says he's gonna have some, and it was wiped out, bro.
It went fast. I knew it would too. I had a feeling it wasn't gonna last long. But hey, I got plenty of hot dogs left. You want a hot dog? I still got like 8 packages left of those, and I don't mean like packages of like 6. I'm talking like 8 of the big bundles left. Like Jesus Christ, I got hamburger buns that are gonna last me for a year. Good God, all those rolls we bought from BJ's because we thought people were gonna put the food in the sandwiches. I had to throw them all away.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, because they're bakery made like the day she bought them. So there's like when you buy hamburger buns or bread from a like say Wonder Bread type of thing, there's all the preservatives that let it last a little bit longer and you can throw it in the freezer. That stuff that's made in a bakery like that doesn't have that stuff in it. So it's only going to last for a couple of days before they start going bad. So we had to throw them all away. So it's like that killed her to do that. I was like, ugh, that sucked.
I mean, hopefully next year, if that ever happens, we can find somebody to give it to. Somebody say, hey man, there's some, this. I mean, it's like, but it is. I mean, nothing you can do about it, right? You bought to the need. You thought there was going to be, a lot more gone. I mean, people were eating all day long. People were, Modelo was going all day long. Waters, you had everything set up pretty right. Considering the weather, and just think we try to. I forgot that lady was. She had that big boom box down there. That was kind of cool. She brought that boom box down, and
it's a good thing you didn't bring the DJ equipment. That shit would have got fucked up.
Oh, there's no way. That's why I told this. That there's no way.
You made the right move. When you called me and said you weren't bringing it, I was like, that's absolutely fine because it's raining like a son of a bitch here right now. We were sitting in the parking lot of the McDonald's and it's pouring out. I'm like, I didn't even want to open my window to talk to my guy Dave in the next car because I was just going to get drenched. I mean, I know you're looking forward to Monday. I mean, Nate, you're not going, right?
No.
So
it's gonna be, man. Here it is Thursday, right? I mean, it's gonna be, man, freaking. The energy is gonna be so lit. I can't wait to just get in that stadium. I try to get in there a little earlier. I'm gonna probably get in there a little earlier than per-use and get in there and just get my seat and get ready for Raider Nation just to come out, fucking pumped up, fired, ready to go, and Max leading the troops and let's go. Let's go. And I hope when the kickoff comes and we're gonna win the coin toss, I hope we just get the ball, go down and freaking get that first touchdown. It's kind of like we did it, in New England, same thing. Like I said, we do that, it's gonna be even louder for the defense coming out. We just gotta make that statement. We gotta jump on the Chargers right away. We can't let those guys have any air at all. And the rivalry, everybody knows the rivalry. Pete Carroll and Harbaugh, they hate each other.
Oh yeah,
they hate each other.
Yep.
And that even makes it even more, even that much more intense. These two rival coaches from college, and and now the NFL and Seahawks, and he's with the Niners, and now Chargers, now Raiders. It's man. And then I said, seeing Gino stepping in there, man. I'm very excited for the season. I know he's going to have a Pro Bowl year too. You know, they keep him clean.
Oh, if he keeps
took some hits. He took some
Very
hits.
possible.
Even if he does
Took some
3/4 of what he just did this past weekend, that still puts him well in the 250 to 275 yards a game category. I'll take that. You know, closer to 3. I'll take that all day long from him every game. That's a good season, man. I've got a lot of faith in him. Maybe he had two. What he had 1 touchdown this weekend. You know, I mean,
but still,
I got no problem with it.
you know, he had the 1 pick. Like I said, that wasn't his fault. I mean, the quarterback's always going to get that pick. But you know, what really surprised me was Michael Mayer, man. Big Mike.
He looked good.
He looked really good. You know, he's that other weapon that they're not keen on. You know, you got the 2 tight end set, man. Like Chip Kelly, he's gonna definitely. We're gonna see some great play calling this week. I believe we're gonna keep the Chargers off balance, and he's gonna bring it. He's gonna open up the whole playbook. He needs to against these rival games. I said these are must-win games for us. But our rivals, we have to win these division games. We have to. You know, we have to go 500 this year if we're even thinking about taking our division. We have to go 500. Last year we went 0-6.
Oh, in our division, I've been saying that for a couple of months that if we don't at least go 3-3 in our division, we're screwed.
We're screwed.
You know, we can't go 0-6. We go 0-6. Pack it in. Season's over.
We can't even go 2-4. We need to go 500 or or better. And I believe like I said, it all comes down to being healthy too.
Yeah.
Good evening,
What's up, Frank?
So,
what's your? Let me ask you this then. I'll start with Nate. What's your biggest worry going into this game Monday night against with what we know about seeing the Chargers?
Yeah, I kind of touched on it. I think it's just the quality of opponent, because we know that the Patriots, they're not a great team, and I said the biggest issue last night was going to be Justin Herbert, and if Jim Harbaugh lets Justin Herbert do Justin Herbert things, I think that's going to be a little bit of a handful for the Raiders, especially with a little bit of an inexperienced, a new group on the backside of the defense for sure. And like I said, Drake May got a lot of decent intermediate throws that I thought that were a couple too many. So the fact that the Patriots don't have the greatest wide receiver core in general, and then compared to the Chargers wide receiver core, who's a little bit more experienced and a little bit more talented, I think that it could give us a little bit of problems there.
Definitely the passing game. Definitely the passing game with Herbert. We pay him, we've seen Herbert now. This is his 4th season now, 5th season, right? So we've seen him and what he can do. And he's a great quarterback, And but then again, when he gets rattled like any other quarterback, the playoff game, a couple of bad games he's had, it's in our favor. So we got to mix up the game plan as far as defense goes. We got to bring that blitz. I think we got to bring those sneaky blitz coming in. And if we can get that pressure, a lot more pressure than we did versus the Patriots, it's going to be a long day for Herbert. It's going to be the game. Obviously we all know turnovers, right? Who doesn't turn the ball over? So, if we could limit the turnovers, hopefully have none, and get them maybe a couple of turnovers, that changes the game dramatically. And their line, there's some holes on the Chargers line too. They hold up, but we got to bring that pressure, man. I think Max got to go for 2 sacks in this game. Mac, baby, hey, we know you can do it. We know you got it in you, man. And this is where the bright lights need to shine. Monday Night Football, Week 2, Raiders versus the Chargers, division game. I mean, 2025. I mean, it's going to be fucking phenomenal. And I know we're going to have the right pieces and the right players and the right coaching and strategy to come out with this big dub and be 2-0 before we go to Maryland. Before the Redskins lost, huh?
Yeah, they did.
They lost, right?
They lost, yeah.
So, yeah, they're a little beat up and battered too. So, but this week is going to be huge for our offense. And I know, and like I said, I'm not too worried about the back end, man. I like what I saw. I saw what in Kelly and Chin, and Palmao. I know. I don't know. I have really confidence in them. I just think we just need to be in their face. We need to play. I don't know. I always like bump and run. I've always like man to man, and I don't know. We don't play that, but I think one of these games we just gotta get our hands on these guys before they start, getting their routes going, because break that timing. Chargers are a timing
Right.
team. So if we stop those receivers from getting that timing, I'm not saying it's gonna, that's the answer. But at the end of the day, we got to change it up. Definitely script it out and bring the blitz to me. Bring the blitz. I'm gonna call. I think Mad Max gonna have 2 sacks. I think Booker's gonna get his first sack. Oh, did he have one? He didn't have a sack, did he, Booker?
No, he didn't.
Booker, no, he didn't. Yeah.
It was
Booker's gonna get his first sack. Yeah, Booker's gonna get his first sack.
Max. Who was it? It was Max, Lalau, and Tyree. Those are the 3 sacks from Sunday.
Did we have 4? No, did we have 4?
We had 3.
No, 3. Okay, but I'm calling it right now. Booker's gonna get a sack, and I believe he's gonna get another one, and Max gonna have 2. But we did have 3 batted. We did have 3 batted balls, right? We did have 3 batted balls, I believe. So to me, that's as good as a sack. If not. But
well, I'll tell you what, if Butler and Booker can, one of them just take out James, because we know he ain't that good. Andre James.
I think that's going to be Booker. I think Booker is definitely going to have a good game against Andre James.
Keep shoving him right back into Sherbert, and that'll be good. It's just to disrupt him. My biggest worry is the secondary still, and going up against that kid Lad McConkey. I mean, that kid is good. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just a wily little bastard. He's just, Landon Roberts isn't going to play. He's out. What hurts us also is Brock Bowers is still listed as day-to-day. I don't know. The decision won't be made on him until game time on Monday, which for fantasy hurts me, because if comes Monday and they decide, oh, he's not going to play, I'm screwed. So now I got to put someone else in over the weekend. So I got that decision to make. I hate that shit. So we still don't know what's going to happen with him. But based on what I saw from Michael Mayer last week, I think that's still going to be okay if Bowers isn't in there, because I think Michael Mayer is going to be able to step up a little bit. I mean, he's not going to do Brock Bauer things, but I think he's still going to have an impact. But the secondary still scares the shit out of me, especially against a passing offense like the Chargers.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That McConkey kid, I forgot his name, but he's a little thorn in the side, man. That guy, he's a little baller. Mind you of a little Cooper. One of those receivers. And that's why he's small. You got to get your hands on him. You got to get him off his route, because they're timing routes. If you got to get the bigger corner on him to rough him up a little bit, and prevent that. I mean, he's not. Hopefully he gets no catches, but that kid's gonna get open. He's gonna get open. We already know that. But but that comes with timing, and that comes with the defensive line. Just disrupting Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
But Gino took a lot of hits. I don't know if you've seen. Gino took a lot of hits versus the Patriots. He stood in that pocket, man. He was in there, and he right the last minute, man. He was in there, so he's tough. He's tough, and I'm calling right now. I think Bowers is playing. He's not going to miss.
For sure.
I think so. I think he's going to play. This is too big of a game for him not to play. I think he's gonna go for it.
He's day to day. He's day to day. That gives me more hope than questionable, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
Day to day, he's keeping out of practice, but he's going to play, because that 2-headed monster, Michael and Brock, man. I'm telling you. It looked really good. It looked really, really good.
Tonight's game with the Redskins and the Packers, I know someone said it earlier, but I saw the replay just after it happened, but looks like Austin Eckler snapped his Achilles.
Oh, yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, he pushed off after the ball was snapped, and as he took that one step, you just saw his leg just gave right out from underneath him. He just dropped. He's done for the year. That's the shit that I hate. And that's the shit that could have happened easily in this past weekend's game with the weather conditions. The field could have really caused some serious injuries, and not so much like with Atlanta Roberts, it was his elbow or whatever, but I'm talking like lower extremity injuries, like ankles, knees, Achilles. That's the type of weather, that's the type of field conditions that fucks that shit up.
Yeah. I mean, it's part of the game, right? You just don't know, I mean, it's happening. No. It's happening more and more, per use now, that I've ever seen in my life, as far as Achilles and stuff. Man, back in the days, you didn't hear about that shit. they're going out there broken arms, broken legs, and and now it's like boom, one little move, and that's it. Austin Eckler, he's not that young and he's not that old, but he's a little up there, But at the end of the day, it could happen to anybody. Look at Kuntz. Kuntz is getting off that injury, Not sure. We would have thought we had him for the season, and it was during training camp, right, when he got hurt last year. Kuntz.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? So that was just training. That wasn't even going 100%. So that's just going to be huge. Obviously health. We stay healthy, and hope people don't get too much bumps and bruises. But it's football, man. It's a fucking physical sport. It's good. We're bound to have injuries and little nicks, and just nothing serious. Nothing where somebody breaks something and they're done for the season.
Yeah.
So
what was your prediction on the score again for this Monday night?
27-21.
Yeah, that's what it was.
27-21. And Nate, that's what you had too?
I honestly don't remember what I said last night.
I'm sticking with my 30-21. I'm still going with a 2-score win for us.
I like that. I think it's going to be close for sure.
Yeah. It's not going to be if it's going to be a blowout, it's going to be the other way. It's going to be them blowing us out, which I don't see happening.
Yeah.
God, I don't see that happening. Because then we're going to be right back to this team sucks, this guy sucks, fire the coach. I mean, it already happened in New England before we even walked out of the stadium. People around me were like, fire Vrabel, he sucks. It's like, dude, it's one game. Are you shitting me? You're going to lose your shit over one game? Good God. It's not like we came in here like the Philadelphia Eagles and beat you, and you held the game close. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. You're going to get blown out, all right? You lost by a touchdown. You could have won that game. It's not like you got dismantled where we came in and scored 20 and you didn't get, we didn't shut you out. All right, I can see you being upset now, but you guys were in it. Too bad most of you left before you saw the end of the game. But,
and to be honest, it would have been a 20-10. That last field goal, that was just they're just whatever. The time was already ticking. We're already celebrating. It was like 2 minutes ago, and we're like, all right, here we go. And so at the end of the day, like you said, you're right. It's not going to be them coming in and blowing us up. That's not going to happen. It's not. It's not going to. We're going to beat them. I'm going to say 27-21. And 1-score game. It's going to be a good game. Battle turn over there. 27-17. Okay, Detroit got.
Both teams are coming off a high. The Chargers are coming off a high because they beat Kansas City, but you didn't beat them at home. You didn't beat them in KC. You beat them in Brazil. All right, so you're on neutral turf there. If they would have beat them in KC, I think they'd be at even a more of an emotional high because of beating KC in KC is not an easy feat. We went on the road in the bad weather against a team that obviously they did improve from what they were last year, although you wouldn't know it. But they did improve. We went in hostile territory, shitty ass weather, and we won. So if anybody's got a little bit more of a high, I think it's us because of the conditions that we were under. Actually not playing on a neutral field. So I'm still giving us.
Actually, with the new regime too, with the new coaches.
Harbaugh
was there last year, and they're coming off a playoff year, so they should be consistent, right? They should have the continuity going. This is the whole new script. All new coordinators again. Not all new coordinators. Graham's still there. But I was talking about, Pete Carroll's mind, and then Chip Kelly coming in. So yeah, it's a whole new playbook, different players, new quarterback. I think the only one, Jacoby, right, and Brock. What I'm saying, and different players on the line. Parham still scares me. To me, Parham still scares me. I don't know. He had a couple of films.
I agree.
I mean, but. It's still early. So these guys look like they're going to hopefully, get their shit together this week. And I know they are. I have confidence in them. I know they are. And get the running game going. We got to control that clock. And get Jency running, get White in there, however, And, yeah, we got to control that clock. And that's running the ball. We have to run the ball, ram it down their fucking throat. I don't think their D-line's pretty, they got Mac, obviously. He's going to be a cherry. He's always want to put a thorn on our side. But if we contain him, I think we're going to be pretty good. You know, I think we get the running game going. Go behind JPJ like you were second half. You know, I think Jets is going to have his first 100-yard game, and I'm gonna say another touchdown. He's going to have another touchdown this year, and Jacoby's going to get his first touchdown.
We need Mostert in there. I don't know why he was inactive this past weekend. But I didn't know he was inactive until after the game. I didn't even realize it prior to.
But what about this week? Did they say anything? Is there anything about him this week?
I haven't heard anything. Was it even an injury issue that he was out for, Nate? Do you know?
No, he was just inactive. I think it was for personal.
He brings that experience. You know, like I said, I think they should give Genty breathers here and there. You don't want to wear the guy out after freaking week 2 and 3. You know, he definitely ran the ball hard. He was running his ass off. He's running his ass off. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, you're right, Detroit. God, you drafted him for a reason. I think what happened last week is that obviously Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly saw that they could take advantage of the poor quality cornerbacks. There was no Gonzalez, so that in itself was a bonus. So they knew they could throw on him, you know, and that's exactly what we did. We threw on him, and we threw on him very well for the rest of the game. We did get away from the run early. We still tried a few times running it, but the passing game was just on point. Why would you stop that?
Well, what do we have? How many attempts did we have as far as rushing the ball?
Genty had what, 19? Tell you in a second.
19, I think Genty had 19, yeah.
Yeah.
White had what, maybe 3 or 4?
Yeah, 19 attempts for Genty. Get the rest of it. Yeah, it wasn't much for the rest of the running backs, though.
Right.
White had it like at least 3 or 4 times for sure.
Yeah.
Genty 19 carries, Geno 2, and White 3. So 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So 24 in total. 24 carries. They didn't do much better either. So they had what, 5, 9, that's 16. They had 18 carries the entire game for them.
Well,
they threw 46. They threw 46 passes. We threw 34.
See, but no. But we see the efficiency though. You know, 34. It was a pretty decent balance. But once we knew Geno had a hot hand and he was just, you know, doing his thing, why not stick with the pass? Definitely caught him off guard. You know, we definitely could have ran the ball maybe 5 more times, but that wasn't in the game plan. This year, I mean, this week we're going to run the ball more.
This week again, the field conditions are going to warrant us running the ball more. You know.
Yeah, we're going to get 25, 30 attempts for sure.
Yeah. Geno was 24 for 34, whereas Drake May was 30 for 46. You know, and Geno had 362, and Drake May had 287 yards in that game. So I was just, I was going to ask you, where's Mr. Silva? There he is. What's up, little man? He's so cute.
He made the Boston trip too. So that was cool.
That dog's more well-traveled than I am. Damn it. The dog came all the way across country this past weekend.
Sure did, man. He did. He did a great job. I was so proud of him. Yeah, but no. Then the day, guys. You know, thanks again, Jeff, Nate, for participating, coming out, and it's been great. You know, the Boston is, you know, it's behind us now. Now it's Vegas, week 2.
That's it.
And let's just go. Let's build this winner. Let's keep this momentum going, guys.
Yep.
You know, Raider Nation, I'm calling you out. Let's go back out our stadium. M.O.B. it. Movement of blackouts. Raiders against the world. You know, hey, we can accomplish what we want to accomplish, but we all got to show up to show out, and that's the main thing. And hopefully, you know, not hopefully, I know we're gonna get the dub. It's gonna be a real great game, competitive game, and you know, we're riding high right now. And I know Max and even Geno for sure. He's saying, you know, they weren't even him a captain. You know, everybody's just talking, ranting and raving about Geno. Max Crosby's like, dude, that's my guy. You know, we're connected, and you know, from everybody doubting him when he first came in, and he could have been a bust, but it didn't let him get him down. You know, and he's been a journeyman or whatever you want to call it. But in Seattle, he was pretty consistent for 4 years, and I believe he's going to bring that. What is he, 3-year contract? You know, as long as we have him, I think he's going to be pretty consistent for sure.
Yep.
You know, we have the tools, we have the players, and we have the coaching. and then now bringing in TB12, we have the experience and those rings, man. Those rings mean a lot. Spytek has a ring with Tampa Bay. Chip Kelly doesn't have a ring, but Pete Carroll does too. So, all that everybody's buying. I mean, just seeing the Raiders on the side and after the game, man, it was just like, man, it felt so fucking awesome.
Oh, it
so
felt great walking there and seeing the team like that. Like, again, it's been a while since I've been to a game, and that was my son's first game. So when we got there, we went up. Well, we took the elevator up. We went right up to the 300 level, so we could look down on everything from the very top level. We went up and we were below that big lighthouse thing that they had there. We were looking down at that, and I said to him, "What do you think?" He goes, "I don't want to talk." He goes, "I think I'm going to shed a tear if I keep talking about this," because he was just so excited. He's 30 years old. He's never been to a pro football game before, and the first one he goes to is a Raiders game. So he was excited, and I was full of pride and joy because I got to take him to his first one finally, and this was just perfect timing for everything. And he had a fucking blast. I'll tell you what, that little shit was taunting fucking Pats fans around us like crazy. Oh my God, screaming at them, yelling at them, especially when they left early. He's like, "Where are you going? Why are you leaving? The game's not over yet. There's 6 minutes left. You still got a chance." I mean, it's great. So like a chip off the old block. And like, yeah.
Exactly. It felt really, really, really badass. It felt really good to walk out. I mean, to walk to the stadium, and then the video, like said, they're barking and, "Hey, we got you, we got your number," and I'm like, "We'll see you today," and then
that right there. That right there, when we finally walked away from our seats and went up the stairs into the concourse area, and that's all you could hear bouncing off the walls inside the concourse was the chants of Raiders from all different directions. And even when we got outside, you could hear it throughout the parking lot, bouncing off the walls of the buildings and everything. It was like, I think this is great. I walk out and I saw somebody I know, so I said hi, and this guy, it was a Pats fan, he looks over at me and I can hear him talking. He goes, look at this fat buck, talking about me, right? Because he's a Pats fan and we just beat him. He's like, "I guess this fat bast's never heard of Ozempic." So I'm like, okay. So I just fucking started hammering him. I just started laying into him, yelling at him and shit, and then I just kept walking away. I told him basically, just go fuck your face, you prick.
There's some.
Like, "Did you just hear what he said to you?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Fuck him. He's a piece of shit. Just keep moving." not worth it. We're walking out of here with the upper hand because we got the win. Let's not ruin it by getting arrested. So let's go.
Exactly. Yeah, we got that dub. We're riding high right now. You guys can.
Yeah, I'm happy. Yeah. The rest of the day. I gotta make it to Boston. Don't fuck it up.
I know, right? Boston. But like I said, nothing like going behind enemy lines. Going to the stadium. And it wasn't so much that like Nate said, the Patriots. Trust me, they're not a good team. Okay, from last year they probably improved. Whatever. It's just the history behind the Patriots and the Raiders and going in there. I mean, I know it ain't the playoff game. I know it ain't a Super Bowl, but it was just going into their house and.
It felt like it though. It felt like it. For me, it did.
Oh yeah, there was some older gentleman. He was a Patriots fan, and I was, out there, my flag, hey, Raiders against the world, Raider Nation, we're here, and the guy goes, "Hey, man, I don't hate the Raiders. I like the Raiders," and he started breaking down all the history from Plunkett being a Patriot and vice versa and all this stuff, but you guys got TB12 now, so hopefully you guys get a ring. And he was being super cool, and you could tell he was an old school Patriots fan, and he goes and he pointed out the sign would have all their championships. He's all, "We got all those." I'm like, "Yeah, you do. Hey, that's cool, but you ain't gonna have them for a long time. Don't worry, it's our turn now. Let us get 2 or 3. You know what I'm saying? It's our turn." Exactly.
With that team, you ain't getting any. I can tell you that right now. All right, you got any last final thoughts you want to give there, Mike? What you got anything coming up or?
Yeah, we got we got obviously the home opener for Raider Nation. I said Raider Nation, find somewhere to go. There's plenty of space, plenty of spots to see and go. A lot of events going on. You can go on social media, following the Raider page, follow people, and we're gonna be there. We're not doing anything this weekend. This week possibly you may do something Sunday. It's still in the works. Not sure yet, but I don't want to announce anything officially yet. So I know it's only a couple of days, but hey, it is what it is. We weren't planning on doing anything. We got asked out by somebody in Vegas. Hey, would you like to do something here? And we're kind of like, we'll see. So, we got that. And then week 3, we got a watch party over here in Riverside at the Beach Bar and Grill. We're going to be doing a 10 o'clock game versus the Commanders. And then week 4, we're going to be at a watch party over there at Soldi's in downtown Rialto. And then obviously we'll be back in Vegas for Cheeto Linus' birthday, and my homie Raul and Ralph for the Titans game. We're going to be in Vegas. We're going to plan on doing a big tailgate there. More, stay tuned on that. And then obviously, as Nate said, the big Cowboy game. Shorty's tailgate, Raw Nation official, Lot W. Shorty's tailgate, come out. It's going to be epic. It's going to be badass. We got performers. We got a badass DJ. We got Angel Baby in the house. We're going to have cornhole. We're going to have a lot of giveaways. We're ralphing up, I think,
nice.
We're ralphing out 170-inch TV, maybe 2. Don't know yet, but for sure we're going to be doing 1. A lot of raffles, and it's going to be super dope, super badass, epic. You guys don't want to miss this tailgate. And then from here on out, still making arrangements. Oh, and I got one more thing with Dub Raider. We're going to be doing a watch party, Hermosa Beach, for the Jaguar game. So that's still that's already planned out. I haven't talked to Dub in a minute. I got to probably call him here tomorrow, and tying up some loose ends over there. But yeah, there's a lot of things going on, Raider Nation. Find somewhere to go. Week 2, home opener, Monday Night Football. You can't miss. We're going to do our part. Go black it out. We're going to go M.O.B, Legion Stadium, guys. Come join the movement. Let's be blessed. Let's kick ass. It's our 2025 season that we will never, ever forget.
Awesome.
So
there's the link down below. Yep, there's the link down below, people. Make sure you get over to his Instagram, follow him there. Anything you got coming up with banners or whatever, flyers or whatever, make sure you tag me in them, and I'll do what I can to promote on my end and push it out there for you. I do that for you any day.
Appreciate it, Jeff. Appreciate it, man. Much love and respect to Raider Nation for showing up too in Boston.
Yeah, thank you to everybody. Thank you.
If we can do it in Boston, we can do it in Allegiant. We can do it in Vegas.
Oh yeah.
And you're flying across country and Vegas, and where we're at, I know it's you may be flying across country to go to Vegas, but at the end of the day, us Cali and everybody, the local states, hopefully we can all come out and like you said, you already called it 83% they're expecting, right? Raider Nation.
If you're on the West Coast and you're a Raiders fan, I don't know how you cannot not go to that game. I would be beating the shit out of people to get into that stadium to go watch the game if I lived out there. You wouldn't be able to keep me out of that stadium. Everybody that lives out there is so lucky that they can just pick up and go to the game if they want. You can get tickets, obviously. I don't have that luxury because airfare's not cheap, hotel's not cheap. My God, I still I get your vision because of what you want to, what your vision is exactly what the Raider team wants. Is they want that place sold out by Raider fans. They want it blacked out inside the stadium by Raider fans. How that hasn't been accomplished, and granted, I know the product hasn't been that great, but we got hype right now. We win Monday night, all bets are off. I'm telling you, we beat them Monday night. That percentage is going to go from 85. That's going to climb. That's going to be closer to almost selling out to Raider fans only. The other teams' fans aren't even going to have a shot at getting any tickets at some point, and that's how it should be.
Yeah, that's how it was being. Yeah, but like I said, it's all up to us, to do our part, and I know it's Vegas, and I know it's different from Oakland, and it will never be Oakland. Just remember that, guys. It will never be Oakland. Oakland is a special place. That's where the Raiders started at. Even LA, when they went to LA. Special place, right? I'm from LA, so I used to go to the games at the Coliseum when I was a kid. So it would never be LA either, but we did win championships there. But now our goal was to black out Allegiant Stadium and get that first championship. It's coming. I feel it. Yeah. And I know Raider Nation's we're riding high right now. And like I said, we get this big win week 2, which we are going to get the big win. It's just going to be sky's the limit from here, and with the experienced coach like Pete Carroll, bringing that momentum, making those adjustments when we need it. And everybody just on board. It's just different, man. I wish everybody could have been at that Boston because it was just a different feeling being over there and starting up our season with that big dub for sure.
Us winning at home against the Chargers, that would put another bit of respect on our team because it's not like we're beating a team that beat the Super Bowl runner-ups. We beat a team that was in the playoffs last year. We beat a team that's on the up and up. That's been predicted to make the playoffs and possibly, by some people, pick to win our division. Talk about starting off on the right foot. If we put, when we win this game, how much that's going to propel us. That's going to jump us up in the power rankings too. It's going to add that little extra level of respect to our team. Right now we're still not getting that respect because of who we just beat. But we go home and we beat these guys Monday night, boy. Oh, it's like, hello, Raiders have arrived. So
exactly. And I mean, who knows? After that we get the big dub. I know we're going to be traveling East Coast, but why not? How come you can't beat the Commanders? I mean, they got Jaden Daniels. At the end of the day, it's up to us to do our job. The Raider Nation needs to do their job.
They didn't look too good tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, the fans need to do our job to try to block it out, and then the Raiders are going to put that winning product on the field, and that's going to all just correlate and come together and just make Raider Nation even bigger and better and stronger. That's the vision. As far as bringing united everybody, all Raider Nation out, and everybody's gonna be like, man, we're going to the next game. The next game will be the Bears game, right? I know a lot of people that are going to that Bears game. Unfortunately, I'm not going to go, but that would have been a cool game to go to too. But like I said, it's just building that momentum, man. And this is a huge home opener. Last year, home opener was this year, home opener, we're gonna get this dub. And against our rival, we talked about it, our division. We gotta be at least 500 to be able to think we're gonna make playoffs. Have to. That's mandatory. 500. But appreciate it, guys. Again.
No problem, man.
What were you saying?
I said what I was just realizing is the Redskins played tonight. They don't play again now until next Sunday against us. We've got the short week. They've got the extra long week now. Well, that's where the schedule screws us, is right here this weekend, because now we play Monday night, and then we only get like one day of practice basically, and then we're going to be thinking about when we're flying. We're going to be flying out there on Friday, so you only get that 2. You know what I mean? So we definitely got a short week versus their long ass week.
Well, you got to remember though too. We're flying from the East Coast, so it does give us an extra day. Because if we were playing on Sunday, it would have been shorter. But at least we're playing on Monday, so it gives us an extra day. I'm pretty sure Carol, is just gonna groom these guys in. Little nicks and crannies. Is not going to be pushing these guys too hard after this big W. But I mean, hey, it's the NFL. Nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? The schedule's there. You're up against. We don't got a Thursday night game. Oh yeah, we do. We got one Thursday night. I'm sorry, the Broncos. Yeah. And then after that, we got the long layover against the Cowboys. So we played the Broncos, and then we have that extra 10 days going home versus the Cowgirls. So that's going to be in our benefit. So, I understand it, but like I said, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's NFL. These are big boys. They get paid very well. They got to keep themselves in shape, and hopefully we just stay healthy for the season. We can have this nice ride into the playoffs. I believe we're going to make playoffs. If we go 500 in our vision, we're going to make playoffs. That's what it comes down to.
Nate, you got anything going on this weekend? Are you good?
Yeah. Tomorrow I'm going to be having the Chargers Raiders preview video out tomorrow. And then I'm going to try to get the Boston one out as well. But it's taking a little bit longer than I thought. Footage. It's a lot of stuff. That's why. Yeah. So I'm going to be working on that. If I can't get it out tomorrow, it should be by this weekend, though. So look out for both of those videos.
Great.
What about you, Mr.
Huh?
What about you, Mr. Jeff? What are you doing?
Yeah, Friday night, normal show. Myself and Chris Foraid, our Friday night live show tomorrow night. We go on at 9:00 Eastern, 6:00 Pacific. It's open mic night. Anybody that wants to come on, get on the mic, talk, camera, whatever. Saturday, myself, Jason Downs, and Chris Foraid is on our Saturday night last call podcast. So same time frame, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. We'll be doing a review of last week's game and then a little bit more about the Monday night game coming up. But we will be live Monday night during the game, Chris and myself, and probably Jason. And Nate, if you're around. Oh, you're going to San Diego, you said.
Yeah.
Mike, thank you for coming on, brother. Thank you for coming out here and spending your time in New England with myself and Nate and everybody else, and everything that you did while you were out here to just pump everybody up. I mean, you got everybody going. It was awesome. I can't thank you enough for that. I really can't. And I made another friend for life, as far as I'm concerned. I met you, and we hit it off right from the get-go. So I appreciate you coming out here, and hopefully we'll see you in Philly. If not, I'll see you next year on the East Coast.
Yeah,
but we'll be in touch. Anytime you need to promote something, brother, you hit me up, and I got time for you on any one of my shows I can fit you in on. You know that. Yeah,
no, for sure. And like I said, once again, Jeff, appreciate us working together. And a lot of people, enjoyed themselves, got the ultimate experience. A lot of people that
That's all I
never
wanted.
done it before.
Yep, that's
You know,
all
that's
I
what it's
wanted.
about.
Yep, I didn't care whether I had a good time or not myself. I wanted everybody to have a good time, and that's exactly what happened. I haven't heard anything negative, to be honest with you.
But good
And that's
feedback.
fine. If there is something negative out there, I want to know so I can fix it next time. So
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. No
Well,
worries, guys. But hey, you guys have a good Thursday night. And like I said,
too.
go Raider Nation, Raw Nation official, M.O.B. Let's go Raider Nation. Let's back it out. And all the Raider fans, hey, much appreciated. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for embracing and coming up to me. And I said, and just chopping it up, man. That's what it's about. Keeping that unity, keeping that family,
Yep.
and just keep the momentum going. And again, hey, appreciate you, Nate, too, man, and making the trip and coming out and joining us for all the events and everything that transpired in Boston, to Brockton, back to Providence. So all right, guys. Well, you guys have a good one.
Yep, everybody stay safe and go Raiders.
Raiders.